We start by hearing a story about the Cardinal War, a war fought for nearly a decade, marked by much violence. The bloody conflict soon reached a conclusion. With King Conrad coming out victorious, he quickly expanded his empire to the borders of Wield. Conrad's reign was one of peace and much justice, until he discovered a threat even greater. Years passed, and his reign was consumed with rumors and insinuations. And the tranquil land began to change in a terrible way, caused by Gisela, the Witch of Wield. It is said that even a whisper of her cursed name makes even the bravest of warriors tremble with fear. The king hired several renowned warriors to put an end to her, but one by one, they were exterminated. And with each challenge sent by the king, the witch became even more enraged. And the king had no choice but to send a letter requesting a truce with the Witch of Wield. He sent 3 of his warriors to attempt a peace agreement with Gisela. These are Volker, the leader, and his 2 warriors, Willem and Lotten, who is Volker's son. As the men converse, we see a black smoke hovering over the forest. It soon reveals itself to be Gisela, with her 2 wolves. The witch says she feels the presence of the men and tells them they are already close. The trio manages to reach the witch's door. Volker makes the trio stop, and they wonder about the reason. Volker explains that they have to go slowly, or they will generate conflict with her. Willem gets irritated with this nonsense and wants to go ahead, but Volker stops him. He says Willem's bravery will get them nowhere, and insists that they are there as diplomats, and by dawn they will be able to expel the witch and her black magic from the king's lands. Lotten recounts the terrible stories he heard about that place, and the creatures that dwell there. His father assures him that it is all just stories to scare the living, and asks him to put it aside. Gisela, who was listening to everything, sends her wolves to attack them. Willem tries to fight the creatures but is soon overwhelmed and killed. Lotten is also captured, and Volker tries to save his son, but it's futile. Volker says he only wanted an audience with the Witch of the Forest and that none of this was necessary, when suddenly he is attacked. Gisela reveals herself to him and reveals that she knows his name, joking about the stories his son had told. The witch says that, due to his invasion, his friend and son are now dead. Gisela reveals that she has lost interest in negotiating with the king and will now send her children to destroy the entire kingdom. The witch tells Volker to leave that place, for his only son is dead, or he will die by her hands, and Volker lets out a scream of fury. The next day, Volker returns to the castle and delivers the news to the king. The man reveals that all is lost, and that the witch's magic is too strong. The king calls Lord Hagen and questions him about the mission's failure. Hagen tries to defend his warrior and says he has never failed the king before, adding that the witch grows stronger every day. Meanwhile, a young woman named Erica eavesdrops on the men's conversation. Volker asks for one more chance to take revenge on the witch, but Conrad refuses and tells him to rest, for that battle is no longer his. Volker stands up frustrated, and one of the men present collects a strand of the witch's hair that Volker has dropped on the ground. The king is worried by Volker's words and says they need to bring the fight to the witch, but Lord Hagen disagrees and insists they must fight with intelligence. Otto, the king's heir, comments that this is talk for teachers and poets. Hagen asks him to trust his instincts, but the king supports his son. Hagen insists they need Caspar, the witch hunter, the only one capable of facing the witch, but Otto contradicts him. The king complains that Caspar is just a drunk and unreliable. Otto stands up, reminding them that Caspar sent one of his best men to the hospital and says he is capable of defeating the witch, asking to be sent by his father. Hagen tries to convince him otherwise and suggests sending the dragons, but Rune protests, saying they are under his care and are still young. Conrad agrees and adds that the dragons don't fly well since their mother died. Hagen insists, but the king asks him not to waste breath and decides to send Otto. Volker warns Otto that he has never faced enemies like that. Outside, Hagen states that only one man can defeat the demon, and that man is Caspar. The next day, Volker and Hagen go to a tavern to find Caspar, and Erica follows them. They wait for Caspar, who is asleep, and Erica sits with them, revealing she is Hagen's daughter.
Volker leaves them alone, and Hagen says she cannot go because the creature is a demon. Irritated, Erica states that she can fight and wants to protect the kingdom, pulling her father's sword. Hagen takes it back and tells her she will need more than that. Erica reveals that she has been practicing magic in secret, only light magic, making Hagen furious. but he allows her to continue practicing, but with one condition: that she stays safe in the kingdom. She asks who they brought on the mission, and Hagen reveals it is the witch hunter. Erica questions whether it is the same one who has been unconscious for days, suggesting that he might be more useful than that drunk. Hagen states that he has already lost his wife and doesn't want to lose his daughter. The two go to Casper and are disappointed, and Volker suggests a better option. He approaches Dreas, a former colleague, asking for his help. Dreas says he doesn't intend to go back to battle, but upon hearing about the demonic witch, he becomes interested. Volker asks him to fight again for the king and the village, and Dreas asks if the rumors about the witch are true. Volker, still remembering what happened, says that he saw his son taken into darkness by dark beasts. Dreas is moved by his friend's story and says he will help him take revenge for Lawton. Hagen is trying to summon a warrior named Hilda for the mission in the king's name. A man tries to approach her, and she quickly knocks him out. Hilda asks if there is any kind of reward involved, money, or at least glory. Hagen says he has nothing to offer, and Hilda quickly declines. He decides to collect a debt from the past, handing her the medal to remind her of what she owes. Hilda says there's no going back after this, and Hagen says that if they survive the witch, they will be even. The group heads to Casper, and Hagen says he needs a leader for the team. A man appears and introduces himself as Azo, saying he is heir to the great warriors of the north. Azo says he has faced all kinds of creatures, including dragons and demons, and considers himself a natural leader. This infuriates Erica for not being invited to go, and she insults him in front of everyone. This irritates Azo, and he says he doesn't like young people who talk too much and grabs her arm. But Erica quickly strikes him, manages to break free, and then her father pulls her close to him. Hagen apologizes to the man, but Azo is not satisfied and says he will teach her a lesson. Hagen wants to protect his daughter, and Erica says she doesn't need it, for she can handle it. Azo is about to attack her when Casper appears, disarms him, and tells him to go away. Erica asks how this is possible if he is still at the table, and Casper says that this is lesson number 2, using his magic. Casper explains that it is a simple trick to deceive enemies who will think he is drunk, and this makes Hagen embarrassed. Hagen introduces himself as the elder of the city and explains that the king is in need, and Casper, who had been listening to the conversation, immediately offers to lead the group on the condition that Hagen's daughter goes with them. Hagen tries to refuse, but Casper gives him no option as he needs an assistant, and Hagen agrees. Meanwhile, Otto and his guards are in the forest, but realize they are going in circles. The witch manipulates the prince's mind, and he soon realizes this. A bear emerges from the darkness, and Otto and his men start to confront it, landing a few blows before realizing that the creature is immortal. Otto orders a retreat, but it is already too late, and they are brutally attacked while Gisela watches. As the group walks through the forest, Hilda asks them to stop as she feels a darkness in the area. Casper comments that she has sharp senses. Shortly after, Dries finds blood, and, further on, they discover Otto and his men dead. They wonder what could have killed the men, and Casper says he smells bear. Erica questions if there is such a big bear, but Casper explains that it is not normal, but rather a beast created by the witch's shadow horde. Volker confirms that the creatures that attacked them were similar and asks the group to stay alert. Suddenly, the bushes begin to move, and everyone prepares, until Azo appears. Hagen fights with him, saying it is foolish to follow them, especially wanting to scare him. Azo insults them, and says they will need all the help they can get. Casper asks them to give him a chance, as he already knew about Azo's arrival. Surprised, Azo asks how Casper knew since he came from the darkness, and he replies that it was the first place he looked before entering the forest. Casper asserts that Azo will prove his worth, as soon the beasts will return, and asks him to be a tracker along with Volker, who was the last to find the witch's location. Dries tells Hilda that he does not trust Azo, and she replies that if the hunter is right, he could be useful, but only as bait. They begin the journey, but soon realize they are going in circles. Azo asks them to continue, but everyone feels they are stuck to the ground. Casper says that this is good, uses a trick, and asks everyone to jump, taking the group to another place. Hagen asks how that can be good, and Casper replies that it was a trap, probably near the witch. He asks Azo to continue tracking, and they move forward. Erika asks how Casper can let Azo lead the group, and he asks her not to worry, as Azo is doing exactly what he wants. Azo seems lost and tries to explain himself, but Dreas points to the bodies, and the group realizes they are going in circles. In the castle, the king awaits news of his son when he sees blood tears streaming from a portrait of the prince. The witch communicates, explaining how she killed his heir, infuriating the king, who throws the portrait to the ground. Gisela warns that the day is already half over and that she has already killed all the warriors he sent. The group falls into discord, questioning how to face the witch in light of such difficulty. Casper explains that it is just a trick to deceive the eyes and asks everyone to close their eyes. Holding hands, they continue walking until Azo breaks free and states that this part is no longer cursed. Azo steps back a bit, but is captured by a giant web. He pleads for help, but Casper asks him not to move, as it would draw the creature that created the web. The monstrous spider emerges to devour him, but Azo manages to break free, and the group begins to confront the monster. Casper asks Erika to keep her eyes closed while he sets the web on fire and faces the spider. Erika, with her eyes closed, falls into the web. Dress, who was fighting fiercely, is killed. Erika frees herself and helps the group, which corners the spider and forces it to fall into the fire, killing it. Casper asks if he was not clear enough, and Erika retorts that she almost died because of it. In the castle, the king considers using the dragons, but Rune opposes it. Conrad asks Rune to send the dragons to burn down the forest, and he shows the strand of the witch's hair to the dragons. In the lair, the witch watches the warriors approach and says they need a proper reception. Volker warns the group about the place where they were attacked and asks them to stay alert. He discovers the bodies of his son Willem and another man, and Casper tells him to back off, for it is a trap. When Volker touches the bodies, the creatures begin to rise. Erika asks if they need to close their eyes, and Casper replies that it is not a good idea. Volker falls for the trap and does not want to attack, but the group says they are already dead. Azo tries to convince him that this is not his son, but the man does not listen, and the group ends up cornered. Hilda is grabbed by one of the creatures, while Casper uses one of his spells to hold back the undead, but Hilda dies in the battle. Hagen takes back his medal and asks for forgiveness, while Volker swears vengeance. In the lair, Gisela listens to everything, says she will kill them first, and pierces her own hand to summon a new creature. During the night, the group walks and hears a roar, thinking it is the bear again, while Azo runs away madly. They believe he has found the way and start to follow him. They soon encounter the large bear, and Casper uses his powers to weaken it, allowing the warriors to quickly kill it. Later, camping, Hagen asks Erika to stay away from the witch hunter. She reminds him that it was he who wanted to bring him to lead the group, and Hagen admits that perhaps he was wrong, speaking of the losses so far, and that he does not want to lose his daughter. Erika comforts her father, reminding him that everyone could die on this journey, and asks what he offered Hilda to come on the mission. He reveals that he made a promise, but could not keep it. Erika talks to Casper and says her father asked her to stay away from him, and he agrees. She asks why she was chosen, and Casper replies that he just needed an assistant. She questions about the other assistants, and he says they don't last long. Outraged, Erika asks when she will finally learn something useful, and Casper replies that it is not time to use real magic yet. Erika insists that she is ready, but he does not want to teach her. He remarks about the witch's trick that brought the dead, and reveals that he also knows about it, leaving Erika outraged, as people are dying and this could help her. And Casper says that everything has a price. She asserts that her magic is useless, and he observes that she speaks like his former assistant. Erika asks why he always stays behind the group, but Casper prefers not to answer and walks away. In the forest, Gisela says that her powers are growing stronger and decides to make the wolves even bigger and more dangerous. Erika practices her magic when she hears branches breaking. The rest of the group appears to help her, and wolf growls are heard in the distance. Hagen says they now need Casper, but he reveals that it is too late, for the witch knows they are there and they will need a new plan. The wolves attack the group, which fights fiercely. Volker and Azo are attacked and killed, but Volker manages to kill one of them. In the castle, the king prepares for an attack when we discover that Gisela has managed to dominate the dragons and sends them to attack the place. The king and Rune hear growls from outside. The king believes that the dragons have defeated the witch, but Rune realizes that something is wrong and asks them to look into their eyes. They discover that the witch has possessed the dragons. Meanwhile, Gisela listens to the group talk about her, and Erika asks why she doesn't show up if she is so powerful. Gisela tells them not to worry, and soon appears behind the group. The witch says she would love to kill them, but it is better that they do it themselves. She then starts to control Erika and her father's sword, forcing them to fight against the hunter. They manage to break free from the spell and return to the hunter's side. Gisela comments that the moon is full, and her powers are greater, vanishing from the place. Casper says he learned more about the witch, that she is just having fun with them, and that they can use this to their advantage. She is distracted, giving them time to set a trap in her lair, but Erika shows fear, asking how they will do this with the witch at her peak power. In the city, the dragons attack and destroy the kingdom, while the king prepares to fight against them. Rune opposes, clinging to the creatures, but the king commands soldiers and archers to kill the dragons before they destroy the city. The trio arrives at the witch's lair, and Erika notices something strange. Casper uses a stone and discovers a protection, revealing it to be another trap to ward off unwanted visitors. He hands some items to the pair and asks them to use their saliva to cross the barrier. They destroy the bones where the barrier was and manage to advance, finding the witch, who reveals herself to be just a clone. Casper explains that her powers are so great that her shadows are taking form, and that they need to act quickly. They decide to perform a binding spell. Casper takes a bit of blood from Hagen, explaining that he needs old blood for the spell to work, and asks Hagen to keep his eyes on the false body without touching it. Meanwhile, in the city, soldiers are being burned by the dragons. Inside the castle, Rune tells the king that there is a traitor, and the witch reveals that she has possessed his body. Rune pleads for her to stop, but soon the witch returns to her true body. The hunter attempts to use his powers, but the witch says it is too late, showing her true magic and transforming into a dragon-like creature. Hagen tries to attack her but is quickly thrown away. Erika runs to help him. Hagen says goodbye to his daughter and dies, while Casper and Erika are attacked, and the witch leaves the place. In the castle, Rune reaffirms that he did everything she asked, but is devoured by the creature, leaving the king face to face with the witch. Erika confronts Casper, blaming him, and he replies that he had no choice. It was him or her, and Erika's father chose the daughter. Erika notices the hunter took her father's medal and asks about it. Casper explains that it is a life debt marker, and that her father saved Hilda at some point. He reveals that the only way to defeat the witch is with virgin blood, which is why he chose Erika. With her blood, they will be able to enchant the sword to kill the witch. Erika quickly cuts her hand using the sword. Casper asks Erika to hide her potential to use this against the witch, for if she discovered the girl's power, she would kill her. In the castle, the king prepares to face the creature when the two heroes appear. The king says that Erika does not need to fight in this battle, as the witch is very dangerous. Erika replies that she knows, and that is why she is there to protect the kingdom. She leaves the king in a safe place and asks him to only watch. The two soon begin to fight against the monster, but they can't injure it, as the creature is too large and strong. Casper says he will distract it while Erika tries to use her sword. He tries to buy time while she concentrates her powers. The monster approaches Erika, who finally manages to use her magic and destroy the demon. They help the king to stand up, and he thanks them for saving his kingdom.